Hey everyone, here it is, November 29th, 2022, Tuesday, and sorry about the red glare on my face. I am in my car obviously and at a stoplight and I get a red face. Anyway, I'm driving back from the valley. And those of you not in California, the San Fernando Valley, back to Santa Monica. It's about 30 to 45 minutes depending on traffic. So I'm on my way back. A really good session with Camille. As always, I have her once a week and she just gets the energy channels flowing. I just an update. 95% of the time, as you know of me, I'm, positive and feeling good. And I mean, feeling good overall. I'm constantly dealing with some kind of physical discomfort, usually in my abdomen. Also, I was telling Stacey, who's my friend and one of my caregivers, along with Gigi, but I was telling Stacey the other night that sometimes I just feel really like my body is just battered. I'm strong physically, I'm strong mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but sometimes I just feel battered. And, I think, God, I've got a major scar down my abdomen that's been 3 surgeries. I have an ostomy bag. I'm doing chemo. My hair is ironically growing. I don't know why. It's not supposed to be. But in essence, I don't really have hair, but yet I do. It's weird. I have mouth sores from chemo. I have a chronic runny, alternating between runny / stuffy nose with nosebleeds because the chemo dries out the mucous membranes. So it's just, some days it just feels like a lot. And I admit that the last week I've had just these weird sensations in my abdomen, which of course always triggers fear. Like, oh my God, what's that now, And I think I've shared in the past that my work chronically, every day, constantly is reframing my mind. It's easy to go down the rabbit hole when you start, you feel things in your body and everything triggers fear, of course. And so I have to constantly, choose to see the goodness going on around me. Because I could easily let it take me down. Easily. And I'm not a person that likes to wallow. Like, it's just not fun. Yet I recognize my humanness and I have to allow myself, and I do. Like the other night, with Stacey, I just cried. It's like, 3.5 years of dealing in this up and down emotional roller coaster and, being stretched to the max on every level. It just takes its toll. And sometimes, like I said to her, 95% of the time I feel like I'm okay, and then 5% of the time it's just like the crack just lets the dam out, and I just have to cry over anger and frustration. And, our ego mind just wants to be done with this. Like, I just want to get through it. Like, when am I going to be done with this? When am I going to be on the other side? And, I always say that, we can say, well, it's a marathon, and I've said this before, but, a marathon, you at least know when your end point is. And when I say end point, I don't mean like my dying point. I mean like getting through you know, a marathon, you know, okay, I got 10 more miles, I got 5 miles, I got 2 miles. You kind of can gauge. There's no gauging with this, you know. And so I was telling Stacey, I feel one of my fears is that, you know, all of you, the people around me, will get tired of hearing my story, my ups, my downs, my, you know. And then I realized that I'm the one who's tired of the story. I am, because I'm living it, you know. But that's part of my what I hear in my head is people are just, they must be just sick.
In 500 feet, turn left on Wilshire Boulevard.
Sorry about that.
Turn left on Wilshire Boulevard.
People must be sick of hearing about this ups and downs, and then, you know, just feeling so vulnerable. I mean, the vulnerability and feeling exposed, it's real. You know, let's just talk about finances for a second here, because finances, when it comes to money, we all have issues with money. We do. We have beliefs about money. We have beliefs about people who have money, who don't have money. We have a lot of judgments, and most people are very, very private about their finances. And we're prideful. I'm prideful. Well, this journey has required me
In half a mile, turn right on 9th Street.
to need help on every level, including a big part is financially. And for someone who's been self-sustaining for my adult life, you know, it's really difficult. That everybody basically kind of knows my circumstances in some way, in my financial circumstances. It's like, and to need help is just really, it's hard on the ego. It's hard on, it's like my ego just says, okay, I'm done with that now. Like, I just want to get on. I just want to work. I just want to go back to, I'm contributing. I'm like, it's easy for me to give, real easy for me to give. I am a very giving person. I've spent a lot of my life giving, but Camille, my energy medicine person, said to me today, and she's so intuitive, she said, because I was saying, I just feel frustrated. I feel, you know, I have dental work that I need to have done. I've been putting it off. I had a filling that came out in last January when I was in the hospital. And I have not been able to get it fixed because I'm either on chemo, or I've been in the hospital, or I've had surgeries, or I've been recovering. And you're not necessarily supposed to go to the dentist when you're doing chemo because of your immune system is compromised and infection and all that. But it's at the point now, I've had this crater in my tooth. Luckily, it hasn't caused pain, but it's sensitive. And I did go to the dentist a few weeks ago just to get an assessment. And he said, you know, there's infection starting in there and it's spreading to the next tooth. So Friday I have to get 2 root canals, and then on Monday I have to go in for 2 crowns to the tune of $6,000.
In 1,000 feet, turn right on 9th Street.
And it's like, oh my God. And this is my off week of chemo. I mean, it's just like, and to not feel like I can work my full time. I work as much as I can right now, you know, but this year has been, I've hardly worked because I've been in the hospital or recovering, and it's just so hard. Well, Camille said to me today, she's like, you know, feeling exposed, feeling vulnerable is directly related to your innocence. And I'm like, my innocence? And she said, yes. She said, when we're children, we're innocent, we're vulnerable, we're exposed. We need help. Children need help. She said, this is part of your accepting the lesson of receiving and allowing yourself to embrace your your innocence.
Turn right on 9th Street.
To get rid of the judgment of allowing yourself to be helped, because of course my ego just is like, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. There's also this part of me that thinks, God, Lisa, you aren't through this yet. So I'm really hard on myself. And she said to me too, she's like, self-compassion here. There's a lesson here in self-compassion, being really gentle with yourself. There's a
You've
lesson.
arrived. Destination is on your right.
Isn't that exciting? She's telling me that my destination of being home is on my right. But that this is, she said, this is what you are learning here in first and second chakra, which is what my body was calling for help with. And that has to do with feeling safe, secure, financial, everything.
In 300 feet, turn right on Lincoln Boulevard.
She can it because we're home already. Just going into the garage. Anyway, so I recognize from what she said too was that this is part of the lesson of accepting.
In 500 feet, turn left on Santa Monica Boulevard.
I'm going to turn this
Then turn
off.
left.
Stop. Okay. Is me accepting help and not fighting it, because man, the ego pride wants to just be like, I'm done with this, I'm sick of this, and yet I'm creating more suffering by being so resistant and hating the idea that I still need help. I mean, so much of our suffering is the mind and the story that we tell ourselves. And my story that I tell myself is that, you know, I've had this programming that, and a lot of us do, you know, that we got to earn our keep in this life. We got to earn our keep. We can't just be taking up space. Maybe this is just me, but I mean, that's part of what I hear in my head. And that's where the self-compassion is. She says, you know, to be a little bit more softer on myself, compassionate, kind, because I know I'm hard on myself, you know, that overachieverness of I can do this myself, but why am I not able to do this myself? And then there's judgment of I need more help. Oh God, it's so exhausting. And that is what causes a lot of my suffering and anguish in my mind. And I'm recognizing that I just have to release and let that go and accept help. And this journey is going to be what it's going to be. But if I'm fighting it, I'm only making myself miserable. But man, you know, and sometimes I just, you know, and I've told my peeps around me that, you know, it's like I never ever want to be bitter, because I don't believe in that. But, you know, there's times when I'm like, oh, you know, I don't wish what I'm going through on anybody. And, you know, what I'm going through is nothing more than what anybody else is necessarily. You know, we all have our life challenges. And so I'm not saying that I'm, you know, my situation is more important than anybody else's, because it's not. But it is a very challenging circumstance that's so much is out of my control. And I'm having to just surrender and allowing myself to be helped and to be more gentle with myself. And so anyway, that's my story. That's my update. Woo. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Thank you. It's a hard journey, but I rely and lean into all of you in your help in various ways, and I'm open to receiving. I love you. Take care.